Good evening, people. So, wife's car back in the shop. Well, we really weren't driving it. This thing kind of lives its own life. I have a Q7 Audi and then this thing. So we decided to drive a Q7 Audi for some reason, and then this thing sat for about 2 months in the garage, and then I saw a bottle of freaking coolant, and the coolant disappeared from the reservoir tank. I pressure tested, I couldn't find out where it's coming from. So I add some to it and pressure test it again. There's no coolant leak. I don't know, whatever. It's a mystery. But this vehicle we bought there will be a punchline in the end, and maybe this information will help you. We bought this vehicle, I would say about 5-6 years ago. So it's a 2014 GL 350, favorite 3.0 diesel. And local Ford dealer, kind of friend of mine working there, he's like, hey, we got a GL for trade. We were wondering if you'd be interested. Otherwise, we're going to send it to auction because we don't sell German cars. At that time, they do now. And there's issue with that car. And since you're mechanically inclined, would you be interested to buy it? I says, yeah, sure. I'll come up and look at it. I think it had like 101 or 102,000 miles at that time. And I said, what was the issue? So I thought it was like wrecked or something. No, it's clean title. So I inspected it to make sure it's never been repainted, like virgin. He says the reason the people came in and traded in and they bought another brand new car because his old lady heard timing chain rattling. Really? Okay, they all do it. No big deal. How bad is it? So I tried to start it out, drove around, and didn't hear it. They said they heard it in the garage numerous times. I'm like, okay, I'm not afraid of it. So I did a little bit of extended research. That is a problem on the GL for the timing chain to be rattling at the start. Number one thing, make sure you put right oil in it because that will solve half of your problem, which has got to be mobile, whatever it is, mobile 5030, and it's got to be the ESP for the emissions BS. But today, so I had a problem with the AC, so I fixed the AC. There was a little valve, and I started noticing right around here is a lot of oil. So this is your vacuum pump, and it's driven by the cam. So part of the oil from a timing chain runs in here, and that's how it gets lubricated and creates a vacuum. It's pretty much a shaft with a piece of metal, and then when it turns around, it kind of flaps around. That's what creates vacuum. So I looked around. I could not find aftermarket. It's really confusing because there's so many of them. You got to be specific. This year's from 2012 to 2015 or 14, just that. So I'm like, this is the front cover. It's leaking right here. So this is the O-ring from it. It doesn't feel like it dried out, but it's square. So I don't know which way it's supposed to go because it has a groove on one end and nine on the other end. And I believe I took that thing apart before. So I found it just a regular or round O-ring. Like this is a square. I mean, it's round, but this is a square. And I let it run for about, I don't know, maybe half an hour or so in the shop. I had a door open because this fucker stinks. Yeah, it quit leaking. So then I started thinking to myself, I was like, wait a minute. So I got a Sprinter sitting outside with hell of a lot more miles, and why there's no timing chain rattling on it? Well, come to find out, it's not my timing chain. This is actually a vacuum pump's rattling. So when you let it sit for too long, what happens is the oil will drain farther back. And then when you start it up, there's not really much oil in that vacuum pump. It's like I said, it's a piece of metal in the shaft, and it flings around there, and that's how it creates vacuum. I don't have an idea how it actually works, but it's a pretty simple deal. I should have recorded the video when I had this thing off. But obviously there's a little bit of timing rattle, but not that bad. So come to find out, in my scenario, it is actually a vacuum pump. So for now, I fixed the oil leak. I'm not too worried about it. And way I noticed, it was, I'm 80% sure it's a vacuum pump. Way I noticed this, so when I had a vehicle running, and there's no point for me to record it in the video because you will not hear it, but if you put screwdriver to it and listen through the handle, you can hear like this thing has knock. Obviously, some of you guys are gonna say, well, that's traveling from a timing chain. It's like, yes, I agree, but it is actually like a knock, and that's not consistent. So I know, at least I think it is a vacuum pump. So there will be episode 2 when I change this vacuum pump. Definitely we'll find out what caused it, but I have a feeling it's a vacuum pump. So if you have one of these vehicles and you have a rattling in a timing chain, you think it is, it possibly could, don't freak out. Because I did extend amount of research. Man, it's hot in the shop today. In Mercedes Sprinter, this engine lasts beyond 800,000 miles in pretty much whatever they get used on it. Like a FedEx vans, they usually get about 400,000 to 500,000 miles on them, then they replace them. Over the road Sprinter vans, I seen one, talked to the guy, he had over 900,000 miles, and it's all original, obviously. Torque converter and transmission been replaced a couple times, but the engine, all original. Never even changed the injector, surprisingly. So on this vehicle, obviously they're a little bit different. Like the bones itself, the structure of the engine is the same as the Sprinter van. It's just a little bit different emissions. You have EGR right there on the Sprinter van is over here. But the point is, they don't have this on the Sprinter van. I could have showed you go outside because I got one sitting, and they don't have a timing chain rattling. That's why I started thinking about it. Maybe it's my vacuum pump. It's not a timing chain, because Sprinters, I had 3, 4, 5 of them, and one of them I had with 800,000 miles, and it was like 780, I think, and it was original engine, and that thing ran like a freaking sewing machine. So yeah, stay tuned. And if you watch this video and you own one of these dang things, I'm super in love with them. Yeah, do your research before you take it to the shop and try to replace the timing chain, because there's a slight possibility it's not it. But thanks for watching all.